From the beginning, there was smiling unconditionality. Unconditionality is absolute, and there it is, the eternal unconditionality. But the human being, in the development of the free will given to him, was allowed to dream a tiny illusion of skepticism. Deeply shocked by this freedom, he was now afraid of what he regarded as Almighty, and of whose existence he had doubted. From this tiny particle of unbelief, by potentiating this tiny doubt, this judgment, he created his sad, lonely world, in which from then on he tried to hide from the unconditionality of creation. In this world of judgment, doubt, fragmentation, true love has no place. Every single word of the so-called communication operated by it not only reduces it to absurdity, but also describes it as downright ridiculous. This makes it clear that nothing at all that seems to be perceived in any way outside of this unconditionality could make even the slightest sense. There is the jumping point. We see ourselves in bright moments facing an unconditionality that only scares us even more. From our point of view, trapped in guilty verdict, we link this feeling, this actually indescribable something, with death. At the same time, nodded with our concept of whatever God. This is poor fear, terror, uncertainty, maybe horror. But where is our horror, our fear ultimately based? We saw it. It is the doubt. It's the fragmentation. It is our ignorance, the inability of our thought system to see the whole. We doubt every second instead of accepting in silent gratitude. And we refuse to look to the source. We content ourselves with the allegations that arise from our fragmenting illusions, transform these superficialities in our thinking by dividing them again and again into gigantic constructions. This is the black paint that is poured onto the luminous image of the unconditional. This is the black paint that is poured onto the luminous image of the unconditional. This is the stinking dung heap that each and every one of us dumped on it. And it seems so infinitely difficult to us to recognize that behind what we are dreaming in our mad dreams, and for sure we have given it the most terrible attributes, unconditionality stands. And it's a loving unconditionality. We can trust her in everything. All of our fears are unfounded. But to look at them, to see the abyss that separates the deceptive underground of our dreams and our black fear of unconditionality, means that is to go into the darkness we have created ourselves, to realize that it never existed. We're jumping from our rock stepping into the black throat, and at the same moment land on golden ground. Do you understand what it means when you realize that unconditionality is a loving one? That it's pure joy. Don't worry. There are no worries left. You could burst with gratitude. This experience is a baptism towards meaning, a true rebirth, a recognition, an awakening, an orgasm, a conception, a birth into unconditional trust, as it could never be experienced before. Trust in creation, in the Father, by whose hand we move without the slightest hint of fear, certain that we have been guided by Him on the right path. May the past seem rocky now and then. We know that every single pebble we encounter is where it is, in the perfect place, just as we do, and are exactly the right thing in our life, which is now so unconditionally and more flooded with noticeable love of creation. This is how it is. Conclusion. When we realize that all the hierarchies from which we have tinkered our lives together have been dissolved from the unconditional in love since the beginning of time, since all eternity, the infinity, then only the happy trust of a little child remains, of the grinning fool, the meditating Buddha. Let the children and the fools come to me, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven.